Like in all the nations of the world, the powerful political elites will determine who governs us. Like a proverbial knees on our necks, this nation is choking. We can no longer breathe. There is a shortage of air. We need to allow this nation thrive. I'm pleading with you tonight on behalf of millions of our people, more than 10 million of their children who are out of school and more than half of the population who are in abject poverty. This nation cannot be taken as a private enterprise anymore. You, the ordinary Nigerian, can no longer keep quiet. The nation belongs to all of us. And this time around again, no sitting on the fence. We must speak up to rescue this nation. The continent of Africa is waiting for its giant to rise up and flourish. That is why 2023 election is a make or mar. Look, this nation cannot make a mistake with the choice of its next leader. It is a must we get it right. If you employ the best hands to run your private companies, we should have the best of us run the affairs of this nation. We must get leadership right, not only at the center, but across the states. Knowledge, crisis management skills, character and integrity, vision and courage to make tough decisions, effective communication skills, ability to unite the nation. Leaders who cannot show these traits cannot be hired. Enough is enough. Nigeria, rise. Vote and vote right. And your time is now.
You asked. Any Nigerian who is still hanging around waiting for 2023 to change Nigeria is a fool. Line 20 Daily Faro me up and ask them to become president of Nigeria. 20 of me, 20. Multiply their brain power by 10, factor of 10, and then force them to operate the 1999 Constitution with the governance system that is enshrined in it. We shall fail spectacularly. The problem of Nigeria can never be resolved by personnel changes. The system is designed with impunity undergirding it, and it can never deliver anything positive to the Nigerian peoples. Be those Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Fulani, whatever they care to be. Make an Igbo man president of Nigeria in 2023 and force him to operate the 1999 Constitution. Complete waste of time. Igbo will continue to suffer the brunt of the wickedness of the Nigerian state. Every Nigerian is rendered stateless by the 1999 Constitution. It is an iniquitous, wicked, and evil document. It has nothing good for the Nigerian people. And the longer we continue to fool ourselves believing, and let me enter one quick caveat. Our rulers are actually very intelligent when they care to be, especially when it comes to their own preservation. And I know as a fact that they're already making noises about restructuring in Abuja. The Mace Snatcher and the Lawan and that one that calls himself Baja, all of them are sat there running helter-skelter, cobbling together some lies that they intend to sell to us as constitutional, what do they call it, amendment. Let's be clear. You cannot continue to build on top of lies. You can't sustain that lie. And as long as justice is missing in a place, you continue to have strife. We need to tell ourselves the truth, and that truth is that the closest we can come to normalcy in Nigeria is to have a return to the original agreements that founded this country. Those agreements are very clear in their fundamentals. One of them, federal system. Nigeria is today not a federal system. Let's stop lying to ourselves. The word federal was brought to life by the American election. Each state has its own electoral body because it is essentially a country within a larger country. That was what our fathers agreed. Nobody agreed a situation where a clueless man will sit down inside a rock and begin to issue edicts and diktats to every other person. Nobody signed on for that in 1960. All the constitutional conferences, beginning from 1948 all the way to the 1951, all the way to 1960, each and every one of them was very clear and unambiguous. Nigeria was meant to be a federal system based on parliamentary democracy. It wasn't by accident that Our fathers settled on them on parliamentary democracy. They wanted to make democracy as close to the people as it could be. So it simply meant that if you're a parliamentarian, you knew your people knew you. It was the aggregation of the parliamentarians that determined who became the prime minister, and they were also the ones at the regional level who determined who became the premier. So democracy was devolved. It was easier for the people to become involved. What we have today is not a democracy. What we have today is not a federation. We've just become a nation of liars who readily accept every lie that we are told.
Good morning from the sunshine state of Florida. I bring good tidings and grand rising. Friends, anywhere you they join or you will join, just welcome to our politics, where we gossip about politics and policy. Today, the story will not be different. It will just take a different perspective. So, and pretty much it's going to be pretty much built on what we've been talking about. Mm, For me, Nigeria is a story. It's a story that has been handed over to us. If you're listening to me and you're a Nigerian, doesn't matter where you reside, doesn't matter physical location, you are part of those that the Nigerian story have been handed over to. So it's now left for you and me to either continue the story however we want it, or we end it, as some people believe. But however way you see things, that is just a nutshell. In other words, the Nigeria that we have today, and to a large extent, the one we're going to have tomorrow, is the contribution of me and you, actively or inactive. However you choose to relate with Nigeria, you are part of the story. You're part of the problem, and definitely you are part of the solution. So today we will take a look at news and narrative, and the reason why narrative is so appear to be sound very powerful, especially when we have people who can eloquently articulate that narrative. That doesn't mean it's fake or it's bad or it's good, but that's not the news. And most importantly, whoever that is telling the narrative, if you ask that person to tell you how he or she arrived at that narrative, all of a sudden, the fluency, the eloquency, the is gone. Why? Because it's that's what narrative is about. If he is in news, if you understand how that narrative came about, I mean, you should even be more fluent in trying to tell the workings, the story, how that narrative was. But anyway, today we'll will focus on the news. People we call the news, the journalist, as we know. I mean, today it's not even citizen journalism anymore that is at top of the game, but individual journalism. If you actually want to know the news or get to understand the news, pay attention to individual journalists who tell you the real story, even though it's from their own perspective. But at least you are getting the real story. Then you can now form your own narrative. And if you are hold at a gunpoint, ask how do you arrive at that narrative? It should be a home run, as they say. Anyway, so now that perspective where you go they come from. Just like what is the conversation that is currently going on about this Chad, Nigeria, Niger, Nigeria. Right? It is a narrative. There's nothing that is happening now that did not happen yesterday. Than the way we are eating the narrative, it is still going to happen tomorrow. Right? The idea that France is fighting this person is fighting this person, all those ones are the narrative. You have to go down there to know the players. Who are the players in this field? Then you understand that there's more to that than just the narrow narrative that is being spread around our national. Come, no come, no come, don't come and be threatening me here, okay? Okay, I'm trying to enjoy my peace. As you can see, I'm very peaceful. I'm very peaceful. No, they threaten me. Okay, with 30 December. Don't threaten me. I, I, I know. So at the miss 30 December, tell us about it. You see? And again, that's another thing. That's another perspective to what I'm what I want to talk about. Right? The story. Right now, he's telling me, wait, I don't know where in there, so make I never tell that. But I want to assume that it's in Nigeria. Right? He's telling me I am missing 30 December. And if I ask him, what am I missing? He will tell me exactly what I'm missing, what he is experiencing, maybe, or what is directly see people experiencing. Right? Now, if you now take it to the next level, you go listen to a third party, which is the news that we have it today, right? Listen to all those pundits on TV, so-called so journalism, whatever. They will phrase the story in a different way, right? There will one way to find a victim. They will make me a victim. I will make me a victim. They will not say I am missing. Right? They will either say they will either put a story between before they arrive at that means. Is either I am doing so, or they will say I don't. I mean, let me make a no make, make a no conclude before I say, oh, let me give a tell me okay let's you don't say let's tell exactly what the next thing then I can phrase what I'm trying to say properly. It depends you. How dare you compare 30 December for Lagos to where you did now? That's, see, I'm not comparing it. As a me, I am peaceful where I did. Don't come and threaten me. That's what I said. In case you didn't get me first time. I know just now I can't compare, right? And I think I'm also in position to compare if I want to because I know what you are talking about. I'm once there, I was experience. Moses can testify. Me and Moses don't enjoy 30 December for decades. Yeah, for decades, at least 2 decades, if I to say the least. So no, they threaten me. I know what 30 December means, whether from the village perspective or from the city or coming from the going from Lagos cities in Nigeria to go do and dirty in the village or leaving village to go and do and dirty in the city or go leave the whole country go do and dirty for outside or come back again do and I say I actually have an idea of what dirty December is. Now I can't tell you now because of that exactly how it was last year or 10 years ago that it's going to be. No, it's not going to be because one, we have different players, but most importantly, technology is playing a large role. So, but at least I have an idea. So tell me, what is it that I'm missing? Then I'll put a narrative to it. Now, let me even act as a news person. Let me, well, in a way, I'm kind of, but let me act as if, let me break news here, right? Or push a narrative. just within the conversation between me and AB right now. So let me push it. Let me act as if I'm saying the news, and at the same time, as I'm putting a narrative. Right now, if I want to say what is expected of me as a journalist, as quote unquote a media news house, if that is what you put as your mission is to tell the news. So if I want to tell the news. Say I don't come up for just let's say I hand this section today, right? I hand it right now and I want to talk to somebody else, or I'm going to another platform, or perfectly, let's say I finish here and I decide to go on Dr. Damage's show later on, right? Right? And I'm now going to, as a panelist, in a way, people see me, I am coming to tell them the news, the latest, what is happening. Now, I can play two roles once I get there, just within what we are talking about here. If I go to Dr. Damage and I was asked about what is happening, I'll say, man. Dirty December, I mean, Nigerians are killing it. Life is so, man, people, bottles everywhere, north and south, everywhere. And guess what? You just have to, man. I have my guy from Lagos, Nigeria, AB by the name, who was giving me like life, he telling me everywhere is marama, everywhere is push, you know, great. Now, that is a narrative, right? I am trying to sell that regardless of what you think right now, everything is all good. But why in recent, I want me to say, just say, hey, from what I'm getting from somebody on Grand AB, he said, oh, Ovi, you are missing. Right? Now they said I'm missing. And he tell me I'm missing because things are getting better from where he is, either he is located or he's speaking from. That's exactly what you are supposed to see. Now, it's not left for the viewer to now interpret it, either put the narrative to it, put a spin to it, or just blow out of proportion like the way I did initially. The experience is there are now many and more white parties, more people, more concerts. But again, that only tell one side of the story. Because somebody will come here now and join me again from Nigeria, I go say, come, then they bomb us. That person is not also lying, right? But it now depends on how, if that person decides to use exactly the terms that AB is using, he's painting a narrative. He says, man, they bomb everywhere for Nigeria now. Everywhere now a bomb. Oh. You understand? Everywhere in a bomb. Oh. Just like as AB said, there are many white persons now. Everywhere, many people, many people. But that is related to just one particular place. Maybe not Lagos, or even in Lagos, maybe not just the city of Lagos, island, mainland. So you see the difference here. So I can easily go to Dr. Dameji next and paint a very bogus narrative. I can choose either of these two. I say, man, Nigeria, yes, the December is actually really dirty with blood. You were bombed everywhere, right? And maybe because some bad person don't read somewhere as a military bomb Sokoto, easily go just believe me, say, yes, I'm saying the truth. And that person will go to another, the person will hear me talk, will go to another platform. And he will not listen to any other thing, any other person's view again. Go say, no, I read that for so headlines, say, bomb drop for Sokoto. Then on our politics actually come on live, talk, say, yes, bomb everywhere. Based on the person we tell her from comment section, say, man, there are bombs everywhere, right? And he is right because he is just telling a narrative, right? But if AB decided to go ahead and tell me it's dirty December is only in Lagos and Accra, bam, you see, right? So if now, let's say I go to next to the Nigeria, I say, Nigeria is at this point now mixed feeling. It depends on your location, right? In Lagos, part of Lagos are having a blast. There are more white parties, more life going on there, more people, But if you take a trip down to the northern part, the same time that people are throwing white party, bomb is being dropped on other people in location. And this is a story I'm getting from my followers, right? So you are not making a conclusion. You are actually telling the audience exactly what the people on that are saying without necessarily either trying to spin it or color it or put a narrative to it to suit your own narrow mission or interest. So now, if somebody now challenge me, if you say man party everywhere, tell us now like how many places, where location, problem will come dey. I come to say, every time you say they don't have Lagos, but that's not what you said. You arrive at you submit your own conclusion, right? Now, it is because you did not do. If to say now, I know actually trying to ask AB. I'm not saying AB well, he will lie, but if to say I know ask and say okay, where and where, maybe he will just stop, right? I mean, what's needs for him to go further and say now here and here and here. If I just talk say AB man, I believe you. I don't dey hear them everywhere because actually 2 days ago, pretty much all the foreign newspaper, what I mean, all those who they carry Nigerian news, make it at their airline. Nigeria 30 December, Lagos 30 December, that everybody now put the same thing. So you can actually find what AB is saying from the narrow view if you want to tell the narrative from there. Um, More concerts. Okay. Send my own Christmas goodie. Make I take finish the dirty December. Come 31st. Ha 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 ha. The authentic dirty December is only Lagos and Accra. The rest na fake okay. I agree. But that is half baked reportage. Oh, so that's how you know. So if you listen to this, it goes with the campaign slogan and everything. So if you listen to, I don't listen to the chat, Bola Tinubu chat, but from the clip here and there, if you listen to Abati, eh, then you now understand. You now just flash back to during the campaign. You ask yourself, what changed? Nothing changed. Now you they see him as if he's actually telling you the news without knowing that it's all a narrative to fit the purpose. During the campaign, the narrative is to paint the other person the way he is. Now you don't win. If you begin on that strategy, you know go sell again. So you can see how excited and happy he was sitting with the president. You understand? So, but first of all, in an arrangement like that, already the narrative they won't sell, no be news from the media and from the president himself. It's no longer they tell you no, it's all a story. They want to paint a narrative that they want you to hear. It has nothing to do with exactly what is going on, right? So all his conclusion that the man is not the way we thought he was during the campaign. All those now is actually settling now in the job. And it's crazy because this is a man who when it matters most to talk to people, to talk to journalists, the guy say, he shove it off your ass. He say, fuck it. Right? Now, when he's in a position, that time he's not in a position to actually drive any narrative, right? He understands the media very well. He knows that if he appeared before the media at that time, he's just giving them more ammo to actually justify it or put that in a way, kind of say the narrative that they're painting about him, the man is this, the man is that, that is real. Now, because they are speaking from a personal contact, he's there with them, interviewed and all that kind of stuff. So you understand that. He can't control that. There's no way he can control that. Can only so that's why I no agree I attend any debate and all that. But now he's in a position to control the narrative. right? Is in a position to control the narrative. He never, I don't thought that they go call her, but no. They will not call the owner of the fact. They will not assemble all the owner of the media house, right? Because the truth is that it is they are quick to tell you that media in Nigeria are not making money. People know the ad value, they. But what they are also not telling you that the subsidy they are getting from the government, the protection they are getting from the government. Now only when the team they take they go too far, then they will alarm. Oh, they are trying to. But when those goodies are coming, when you're the owner of your media has to be on the same presidential air jet, presidential jet to either France or to China to Dubai, so he or she can have an opportunity to rub mind with people. I mean, people are not seeing that. They only want to see brown envelope, but brown envelope come in different form. But all these are not happening so that they can lie. No, that's not the point here. They are not lying. They are just painting a narrative. It's different from say, oh, media they lie. No, right? Because if you actually, all you need to do is to go listen to or read a different narrative from the same topic of discussion, and you will arrive at your own conclusion. Hey, you know, see, you're looking 10 years younger. And no man, now, if you dey look for a job, eh, you can finally get the job. Difference go there now. When the same thing applies to regular, if you dey farm, you clear, you go show for your body, you be macheted or every other thing. But when the don't they harvest when you finally get to the point of story, it changes. That's how life be. I mean, that during that is just the work. Looking for the job, auditioning for the job is actually the work of a presidency. If you win from then on, you no need to work again. You are now a showman. You are now a celebrity. You are now chief marketer. You are and most importantly, you are in a position to even also delegate all those things. You don't even think all this one where they just say, you are in as a president. No, that's not your job. That's why you have the monopoly of all the resources of within that nation, even outside. Where they talk about the motive of the resources, I'm not talking about the physical, even the manpower, the brain power of every Nigerian. You can easily tap on everyone. So you no need to overwork your hair and neglect. I mean, again, people people show so that as a Bola Tinubu try. Oh. When I mean try, you remember the campaign for Chatham House where the guy just they say this one will do that, Aerofa, you do that. Better do you speak for that? And that became something of media to build a narrative around, right? But I don't think is it governing like that? I mean, for me, it's everywhere, pretty much. It's kind of hands on, even for the reasons of it. So now everything. So the media will literally tell you from their own interest what you should be interested in. All right? And I said the clinical example is I don't know. It's not a lie to say that they bombard again the idea that the Nigerian are using French to either destabilize Niger, right? That's how they frame it. That's the narrative, right? And you don't just stop at that narrative. When a person tell that story, so all you need to do is to say, okay, like the easiest way first to start with is okay, what are the other activities that are actually going on in that region, right? So why they could just dey kill people? Why they could just dey bombard everywhere? Why they could just dey take the reasons, many reasons. One go say, oh, na ethnic cleansing. That means they want the land, right? Now, if that is not the case, or if that is the case, you go now ask, who are those people doing it? Then you ask, if no be the land, what? What is again? But everything is still either what is in the land, what is on the land, or general, just like the weather. But in that of the northern case, the Boronu case, the France, whatever case, what they are not telling you is that the reason why France is there, I mean, we know they are there to explore, to mine our gold or whatever resources that is there, right? So, but that is actually the real issue. But because it did not just start from this administration, they have to put a narrative to it, especially when the narrative is just easy, going by what is happening in Nigeria. But most importantly, ask yourself how many, not just the companies where they there before this administration come, but how many companies they operate there as we speak. How many countries have their mining company operating in that region as we speak? Because France not just the new entrant. There are close to 20 other countries that is currently mining within that axis. Boronu, that's where this they see that the bomb. So there are literally nothing less than 20 countries who are heavily mining in that region. Why France? Why the narrative is not about those countries? How much are they remitting to the states? What is the agreement we are in within this country? These companies not just come because of Bola Tinubu. They don't they operate there. So what change? Then you now understand that it's all a narrative. They are trying to set you. Nobody is telling you exactly what is happening, because if they tell you exactly what is happening, everybody is guilty. Everybody, when I mean everybody, did all the way to the administration before now, and it will continue. Since we only want to run with away with narrative, without necessarily trying to say come. Why is this story so captivating like this? Why is everybody running away? What's going on here? There's more to it. Why now? Everything has to be factored in. Why now? Why that place? Are you sure that's the only place money is correctly taking place in Nigeria? So many questions to ask. And that is the job of journalists, to come and present exactly what is happening and let every other person become the people to make up their mind, form their own narrative. And most important, 99% of the time, if you leave the average citizen, average Nigerian to arrive at his own conclusion without actually trying to sell a narrative to them or trying to persuade them to do that, 99% of the time, regardless of where they live, they will pretty much arrive at most similar conclusion, because their experience now the same, are hunger, parallel. Whatever you think is happening in the next episode, they will come to that conclusion at 9%. And when the majority, right, let's say where interests converge, you don't need to motivate any person, you don't need to persuade anybody, you don't need to bribe anybody, you don't need to force anybody. You don't need to. Immediately, once that interest converge, you don't finish. So the people, the power that be understand that. So they need to always control the narrative that comes through our medium of where the consumer mention is very important. It is very important. cannot beat Asiwaju when it comes to politics. Asiwaju Tinubu is the only politician after IBB, Abacha, a soldier, Obasanjo, a technocrat and a soldier too now. Good luck on administrator, Buhari, a soldier. No, I don't get it. What's the point you're trying to make, so? Hmm? You cannot beat Asiwaju when it comes to politics. Asiwaju Tinubu is the only politician after Abacha is soldier, Obasanjo. What's the other soldier now? I don't know where that is. Technocrat now. Motherfucker is a bloody general. So what are you talking about? Abi, you don't need dirty Abi. What time is it right now in Nigeria? It should be what? 4 to 4, Abi to 5. Hmm?
Nigerians insist that they have to impress their neighbors and other people, that they eat foreign rice. I said, no rice. You either you eat what you grow what you eat, or you die. I think I tried to make my point. And later, Nigeria appreciated it because it provides more jobs. People go back to the land. We have the land, and we produce what we eat. I have only 6 more days to go. And I try to plan to be as far away from Abuja as possible. And thank goodness I came from an area which is farthest away from Abuja. I said, if anybody force move, I establish good relationship with my neighbors. The Nigerian people will defend me. Thank you very much.
And I just take the last part of Order 38. That is order of the business. Mr. President, the order of the business says, number 10, that our business for the day will be based on the order paper. The order paper does not contain this. And for God's sake, this is a very, very, very important matter. We should not in any way try to use the position of the Senate, because the order paper is clear and we have been doing this. I have no problem having them to come here and explain whatever. We have been doing that, but we follow known procedures. And that is, if today this thing has to be taken, you now quickly ask for supplementary order paper that will reflect this. And as you said, this is a very, very important matter. It is not a matter that you just come and tell us after we are doing business of the day. Mr. President, you can have your way, but I will have my say. You will have your way, but I can have my say. You can use the gavel, and I will use my voice. This thing is very sensitive. Our people have been dominated by this matter. When you say it's matter of urgent national importance, yes, we do have matters of urgent national importance. But even those matters normally is referred to the next legislative date or another legislative date. Please, I beg you in the name of God, this matter is very, very important.
Sorry. Maybe say Niger Republic cannot use the North against the Tinubu administration, except Northern Nigeria is trying to use Nigerian Republic against the Tinubu government. um, all these ones are just, as I said, nah, nah. Well, that plays into the whole game again, and that's why I did talk say this idea of turn by turn, right? If this idea of turn by turn, now they just don't use that to fool the people, right? There's nothing like that. Come 2031, right? Or 2027 at all. If anybody wins, regardless of the person, the election will still nothing go happen. But most importantly, now let's go. For me, Bola Tinubu if you finish his 8 years, and the South is next in line. That's where it's going to be interesting, and that is where this to actually go with your 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 view on this AB about the Niger Republic and all that, the political angle of it, trying to use it, playing to the northern narrative, right? It's all a flaw, right? To bargain, to get the presidency, whatever the power brokers will commit to that gentleman agreement, which they know it's not something that with the way the world, where things are going, it can go anywhere. So yes, that could play into that propaganda idea because I don't know how they want to one. They have already boxed yourself into a hole to say na turn by turn, right? No matter what they do now, I mean the Okupe and Co already in action. But it's all in the play to get every other person else to go to to box us into the conversation, right? Of the North don't have the North should just stay out of it, right? It's a good and shallow conversation to have in a way to arrive as a leader, a culture, a system that is built around seeing the leader as a messiah, which is which is the first thing first that is not even our business. We don't have when I mean our we the poor people don't have any role. The role we play is the noise that we make. Those who are in charge of producing leaders, who are in charge of selecting their leader, don't need us in any frame or shape to make that decision. The business billionaires, the royalty homes and all, they don't fucking need you. They're not gonna come and sit down with you to say, "Come, oh, what do you not think?" A lie. That's not gonna happen. So that gentleman agreement, that they are trying to boss all of us to start being, as I said, Muslim ticket don't overdue, don't play his part. So the next thing like that, so I agree with you, AB, is playing to that narrative. Now, the all they needed to do is to raise the conversation up from the southern experts, no matter what the north, just to play into what you are saying, AB. The South will begin to rise up now. And when I mean the South, not just ordinary person in the street, oh, the major actors, the political jobbers, the media house, the movie house, the religious house, every form they can carry now will start coming up with that. No matter what they not do, this is not their business. They've done their 8 years, it is our turn to finish, right? That is the narrative, that is the selling argument that will take Bola Tinubu to what? To his second term. Now, but where problem go dey? Where problem go dey na 2031 when North go talk say that agreement had to be what? Had to be honored. And they were able to pull all sorts of stunts with threat and everything. Da, 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 da. The opinion builders in the South capitulated to that, right? But I don't know how you want to by 2031. The level of awareness, the level of media, the level of propaganda that the southern part of the country are going to have a larger share of the control. I don't know how you go to happen where you go say the president has to go to the north because he's not their turn. that generation that manage that conversation, they don't go. They are going. It's on. Bola Tinubu is ushering there. He's ushering them out. So the future is pregnant. It's going to be very interesting. So narrative is very important there. So pay attention when narrative is being present to you as a form of the news, especially when it's come from this traditional news media house. That's where we are. So Kayode is saying, Kayode is saying what AB meant is that none of the past leader are politicians. My brother, I don't understand. Though. Who is not a politician, bro? Eh? Eh? As a general, just like in America, every move you make is still what where is going to set you up after you put on your uniform. I said it. Even in America, once you don't attain that position, you are not just longer, you are an active political animal. Because what next for you depends on how you play along with the political, not traditional establishment. So I don't know what you thought say somebody is a politician, is not a politician. I don't understand. Maybe people wake up for screen TV, and they're a politician. How you move, how you see and interpret issues. We are so. I mean, being politicking is what make a society, quote unquote, a society. To be a culture is built around politics, right? That's it. So we have to agree and disagree, understanding differences. That's really that's how we build a society. That's what politics is all about. So I understand your point, right? These guys are, I mean, now let good Lord be Jonathan be an administrator, and well, I should now Tinubu. But I think that's another thing, right? We are the only institution. Well, that's because it's a boiled down to where is the mark? What down to the freedom I'm talking about, right? We are the only one that pretty much don't have our own traditional institution that leaders go through. Our leaders come through an institution that has been built for us. What do I mean? What do I mean? America, for instance, if you look narrowly into the power house, those literally that are on the power, it's an agreement between what the credential elites, those who come through the institution of higher learning, right? And they narrow those institutions down again to kind of Ivory League. I'm not saying every one of them go Ivory League, but you can easily say how many of their past. Let me narrow it down to politicians, right? How many of them no go Ivory League? Rather than how many of them go Ivory League. That should tell you everything, right? So the institution that produce leadership stem from one, that academic house, two, the business class, the so-called capitalist people, those who own properties, who control vast majority of physical empire, or uh, able to persuade people with their knowledge, which fall into the academia. So the collaboration of these people, the military guy used to be in this agreement before. They used to have a lot of say, right? But over time, as the country grows out of military having a say, their voice don't become the shrink down little by little. So that's why they have to play a role as a general. You have to literally assume of the role of a political active animal in order for you to actually matters after you. I mean, they go, your respect is, don't get me wrong. As a general, as a military guy, your respect is, they will accord you your respect, but that's it, right? But that's cheap. That's free to give in a way. Then if you go back to the Chinese leadership is centered around bureaucrats. Matter of fact, there's an exam that started from since sixth dynasty of their that you have to go literally go through that exam. You have to pass that exam in order for you to hold any position within the bureaucracy. Because that is how they build their system. That's why today you find more engineers and I whatever you call them. All these people they consider IQs in terms of the AI builders, the cloud, whatever. But the engineers pretty much consist of the leadership of the Chinese. So us, you can argue that the current leadership is actually the military guys are actually fading out. But the question is that even the military institution, no be we get that, no be we build that. When Showore say our military, na na what was the word? To Nigeria that word. Machineries. Is exactly right. It is spot on. Our military, that machinery, they build up for us for it to keep that part of their empire. Everybody here is straight. That's what it's about. It's still there. Nobody build that. The philosophy that built our military, Mbano, right? So, but now the military guys are fading off. Now the power is becoming more between. That's where you talk about the Bolatin Nobu, the administrative guy. It's now becoming a little bit of the credential guys are always there, but they play more of the administrative role, behind the scene role when the militaries are in charge that now. So the academic guys are beginning to have a little bit of a voice now because there was a kind of teacher and student relationship between the academic world and our business people. If you just want to, right? For them to justify how they take the run. So they share that. You see the business lives coming up now. The lives of now the Dangote, they see the raising of them before now, and now see the lives of Omedo, they raise their chairs. That fear is gone because feel intimidated again like the military guy. They have to come out so. But again, this is an institute. Our universities, our schools, the ideology that founded our schools, the whole thing that is still Eurocentric, still the Western also, no be our own. So the leaders are still being produced for us, right? Then even if you go to the business world, all our billionaires, now they make their billion from what trickled down from what did the chop remain, the West. Doesn't matter whether the chop am for abroad, you go carry and come make money or they are literally in Nigeria, the crumbs that they left for you, because now the crumbs of the oil with the now we do they do boga. So it's still an institution that the foundation is not rooted within our own founding. So if they want bankroll Lumelu, they just disconnect them from linking with the financial world. It don't finish. It's done within 6 months. Dangote the same thing. Most of it's green. The people know understand. Most of the thing wey they produce to us, though the raw materials, over 70% of them have to be imported. That's the agreement. The machinery is not be built. So if they want turn on to a puppet under 6 months too, they go switch them off. So you see why I say all the institutions that our leaders have been they recruit our leader from are already not rooted in their own. They can't sing. Even though if you can sing, nobody it's not nobody need your thinking. All right, just like if you apply laborer, they go tell you the organ go tell you, say, I don't need. No, I didn't employ you to come and use your brain. No thing for me. I employ you to come and use your neck downward. That's it. Focus. Do what I ask you to do, and you go. So that's exactly how our leadership. That's the freedom I was trying to talk about yesterday. Is you're smart, you're brilliant, that other. But how come our environment is still very not habitable to a modern human? It's not. It's not habitable. To be frank, that's like Mugu talker. I don't care where you live in. You live in Banana Island. It's not. It's not up to how a normal, regular citizen should be living. Not talk about that. For instance, that the high class, that the billionaires, the highly educated, the thing that kind of the society, not the environment with that. not even compared to just a regular street, a regular hood in anywhere in the advanced, in the quote unquote developed nation. So then somebody come and tell you we are the most educated, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Nobody cares. What can you do with your education if you are not in a position of freely exercise your thinking, your invention? Then you are still a slave. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make of freedom. We have leaders. It doesn't matter how brilliant you think they are limited. They train you to use your intelligence not to develop your immediate environment, but somewhere else. They don't need to force you now. All they need to do now is give you incentive. As a first class student, as the most disease, they give you incentive. You don't boom, you don't jack with that. Before, when they came now, force until they force the muscle guys, the big ones, people who are productive, because that's what they not tell you. The millions of people who they enslave. Not the productive ones, oh. Today somebody will come and tell you that African Americans are lazy. Yeah, like automatically it's just on that you know how much that person know. So when they came, they're not gonna carry the lazy ones, they're not gonna carry the young ones, they carry the able ones that can actually do the job then, right? Today is the same thing. It's just that they don't they force you now, they give you incentive. If you want to actually appreciate what I'm saying, pay attention to the conversation that is going on in the American space right now in terms of the policy that is coming, right? Vivek Ramaswamy, who's going to co-chair Dutch, Department of Efficiency, Government Efficiency, and what have you, put out a tweet how why HB visa should be encouraged, should be put first before maybe quote unquote the other traditional Americans. Now, there's more explanation to that. I don't want to tell a narrative yet. There's more into the tweet. But the point is, that's an incentive to draw the best of the best part of the world. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Hey, if that's what is going to make the empire keep flourishing, who am I to say kick against that, right? I am not a contributor to the conversation. I'm an observer and I am a student of the both sides, right? The Republicans decide to go to Market Square with it and say, oh, there's a war within the Magas family. There's a war against them. The Trump administration, Elon Musk and co wants to use foreigner to replace them while they were there laughing at DAI. And now there's all kind of narrative around it again. What are the conversation of today? It's all narrative. But the truth is that it is not a new conversation. It did not just start from Vivek Ramaswamy. The same conversations was held in the 90s when internet becomes was the order of the day, just like AI they are making case for now. When the likes of Microsoft and the rest they only get their wings to fly then. I can remember clearly. I wasn't there. I wasn't in America. That's why God was in the 90s. But I remember one of my class. That was a case study. Shout out to Gabrowski, Professor Gabrowski. He played that clip where Bill Gates in the 90s went in front of the Congress, literally saying what Vivek Ramaswamy just put out on the tweet. Gates was making a case that it doesn't make sense that America build institutions to attract the best brains around the world. Then after 4 years or 2 years of their education, you send them away to come and become a competitor. Shout out to the Indians who took advantage of that and actually raised the bar in terms of IT and build institutions that can be up to par with that of MIT. Right? That's a conversation on another. Now, the immigrants who are coming from India are the product of that. You understand? When somebody will say, oh, you see, the end of Google is the India end of the foundation, even though you don't start for America, it stands for pretty much what you can say America point to MIT 2.0, which is currently in India. The Chinese took advantage of the same thing. But we are not doing it, right? But we expand change. That's why when people they talk about we go develop, we go, that's like, where would they live, safe? Like, do you guys understand how this so-called country, where they use as example, got to where they are? That is not just They just go sleep, wake up, and everything began. Models were built. That's why I go always ask you, why do you think this country arrived at that stage? Everybody will begin murmur. But you were so eloquent 2 minutes ago when you're painting a narrative. So we cannot go far. Big Gay was making a case that does it make sense after the best being, and you send them up and they become a competitor? This is before the Joint Congress of the United States. To fast forward to today, but again, between that 90s of Big Gates and today of Ramaswamy, there was an in between with the same conversation. Again, people were busy running away with the narrative of the Democrats, how Trump was Hitler, all kind of bullshit. There was a podcast that, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait for our campaign to start in earnest. Make people who would come, the draw correlation of how the Trump how Kamala, then I will put them to text. Can you tell me this narrative you are painting, how it happened? Now, why am I saying this? Why I say just in between? Trump went on all in one podcast hosted by four billionaires, right? The David Sachs of today, the what is that Pakistani? He has a very funny long name, right? Four billionaires who put up a call all in one. Why Trump was a guest on that podcast? They asked him specifically this thing that Vivek was talking about. The issue of B1 visa, but most importantly, when Trump in Trump responded that there is a need for us to conduct all our graduates. Anybody who graduates, I just said, what's his name? Man of Prestige. If you are listening to me, I know we had a little bit of back and forth with that during at that time. When Trump say he ain't gonna convert all the graduates, if you come here, you graduate, masters, whatever, you should be automatically a citizen. And boom, people went to work. Like, I was like, that's just a conversation. They say, oh, you know what feed one? You know what feed one? He go feed one. I say, come. When you are saying you know go feed one, it's as if you know how this game work. Oh, it's not the constitution. People know. I say, come, Joe Biden ain't go forgive student loan. But for some reason, he can do it. He will find a way. What do you think if Biden can find a way to do that? This other person cannot do it. That was the point I was trying to make them to understand. That it might come, it might not be necessary that will give every graduate. They must say specific graduate, they must say specific time, they must, almost people, there's so many ways around this. And that's exactly what is playing out. This is another way of around it. There's a need for us to put H1B visa affairs over the tradition. That is pretty much the basic of the argument that we are starting to make. So again, if you pay attention to all this media, they go sell your they don't fry your brain. So all narrative, but deep down they tell you the truth. It's right there. So there's a news, but at the same, it's not that they are lying, but they're just saying they are putting their own narrative. And that is because they are covering up something. That if you know about that working, just like when again, Elon Musk tweet out the bill that was supposed to pass without being scrutinized. All of a sudden, man went to work. So times have changed, technologies have evolved. All these things. It doesn't matter what thing this media tell you. Individual journalism is where the Jews are right now. That's why so much they go castigate person. Don't listen to that person, they go to perform they go search because his person is telling you exactly not the narrative that they want you to hear, but exactly how they work in. So there's nothing happen. It's not just they happen the way they happen. Right? By the time the by the time the outcome of 30 December, why now? Why this time, right? Why this generation? Why the slogan 30 December? All this will eventually will amount to something that will make you just say, holy shit. So this is what it's about. right? That take me to BDM. Oh my God. So there's more to, if you don't pay attention, if you keep just being sensational about the narrative, if I just as I've always saying, if all you know is just from listening to all this so-called established media, you don't know shit about what is going on. But because you fall into the category of the majority, it's not good. Which is the goal of it. Which is the goal of people in power anyway. Because they drink small stout, I bet. Why you the Messiah like this? Make I see what you say I thought. I see. Mm. There are politicians now. I mean, now, what you not agree with that? Obasanjo has a mind and set and practice of a technocrat. No. See, I don't understand why there is no difference between what Tinubu is doing and what Obasanjo did. Now, the same thing. Like, when I mean the same thing, now, this is just what is involved now, are different actors, which is different names, and technology don't differ. Obasanjo came as a messiah, as a god, because we were coming from a military era. People forget, like, just like that's our problem, right? We are not history conscious. We are not history conscious. We don't. It's a story, not story. You know they break. Even if you the people, if you take a different dimension, but it's very straightforward. The Western people, they don't say, they operate very, as in there's a reason they want to be in control of the structures of what build government and economy. There's a reason why the Western power build their modern way of taking over territory and resources around what political structure and economic structure, they go hand in hand. So once they set up a structure around this land and the people willingly follow those structures, it is over. They don't have to be there to control it. So what Obasanjo did was just come and follow the principle of what they define as our democracy. Even him now, don't they regret us? It's that time we tweak our democracy a little bit. But I just look at him like a motherfucker, shut up! Shut up! Let me not DJ. So we forget saying that during Bagbo's, we came from during Bagbo's era, the military, one way. So when he come out to just institutionalize that, how we communicate. When I say exactly, go back. Tinubu media chat no be new. Obasanjo nice startup. The famous quote where everybody quote about Obasanjo that it's one thing for my advisors to advise me, so another thing for them to take up. It was a during media chat. People just say now exactly what Tinubu they do is what Obasanjo, because for the first time, if you remember, Obasanjo did exactly what the Western power want him to do. The IMF, the World Trade, so all these policies were implemented, right? It's the same thing. So it was good. So it was painted in a very admirable to us. Oh, they did everywhere. Now Western media, they control our media. So that have to tell you everything. So they will love the guy. When he bring Yaradua died. What happened? Good luck came. Good luck was never in the conversation to be in that position. Maybe from narrow people when you see the Yaradua they see. But when good luck come to power, good luck understand this. That's people forget that the whole country, literally the whole South, literally had to go to war radically, like literally war with the North. That Goodluck had to assume position as the president after they don't find out say Yaradua died in Saudi Arabia. People see they forget all this thing. The whole South, them, Wale, everybody that you knew today come out and say, you know what, this has to be done. Because at that point, Ture, the wife of Musa Yar'Adua, becomes one of the most powerful women in the world. And the run is of Asu Rock. People forget. So when Goodluck finally gets that opportunity, Goodluck has to, in a way, respond to those coalitions that fought for him. And those coalitions, most of them don't fuck with the Western ideology like that. So they begin to donate players who will serve in that administration that will clearly defy what the Obasanjo set on motion. Again, Obasanjo come out and tear in the PDP card for a reason. That's the number one agent over the door. Where you come to agent? Oga Kpatakpata Ovelo come out public and toys voters card. Because yes, from Washington to anywhere you can call it, they were all up in their say, come, this guy had to go. Who the fuck is this guy? Where would I get this from? You understand? So they will have Buhari. Buhari will come. Buhari is a man of history. Buhari is a man that believed the ideology that brought him that far. Not just him, the whole race. Fulani a small race. It's an ideology that empowered them from all the way, stay from the Middle East, that prepared them in that conquer journey. Buhari understand that fact. The best he can do is to resuscitate that ambition. Shout out to Ekpa, who will say, no matter what they are going to do to my predecessors, I will use the modern technology, which is the social media, to amplify what has started long before me. So that's exactly what Buhari did. So but why you should give Buhari credit is that ability for him to balance feeding both devils, the Western capitalists, and his own ideology. He was able to balance that part. Okay, I go spend money, I go buy order for a weapon from America, give them what belongs to them, but at the same time, my people need connection, need railway, need more people to be in charge, more this. I have to do that. They are using Chinese money. He was able to play very fantastically without, and again, but you also understand he's a man that understand history, understand events. So everything again happened to for his what? His own good. COVID era is one era that we Nigerians have not, started actually putting into perspective and started to actually analyze the effect, how that has altered our life and subjected a lot of us to the hold of government. We never started doing because people don't understand this Ministry of Humanitarian Development. It started a couple of months or maybe a year before COVID became pandemic. People don't understand that. What does the government know that we, the rest of us, don't know? Because every other thing was funded through that humanitarian. So there's a lot of money that came through there. So all Tinubu, all Buhari would do was basically whatever the West want us to do in this country, we do it. But while we are doing that, I am also going to pay attention to my people and bring them to where we need to be. And I said it then that in terms of the Nigerian or the maybe West African Fulani hegemon, outside the man himself, Usman Danfodio, I don't think there's any other person that done so much by bringing that race to the mainstream of the conversation than Muhammadu Buhari. So after Buhari, Tinubu come. What Tinubu need to do to have to keep having a dirty December, right? to, to keep living his best life is to just do like Obasanjo. I'm 100% yours. I'm 100% yours. I ain't gonna fuck with whatever you want. You gonna get it. I'll do everything I can to make sure you have it. So I can have my best life. That's what is going on. So there's no difference between Obasanjo administration and this time. It's just the players and here and there technology that are involved. Technology in the sense that, what do they call them? Tinubu is not that lucky in terms of keeping some secret. Everything is in the open. But at the same time, it's an advantage for him too. As everything they open, let's just cloud everything with propaganda and stupid narrative. What the deal is done, right? You understand? With the war they say French they collide with don't destabilize Niger. I think Niger now one country where it like people it's just fucking crazy. I don't know understand people they reason some kind of things. What who don't want destabilize Niger? Do you need a foreign country to come and destabilize Niger? Eh? Send some knockhead from any state of Nigeria, make them go scatter the whole country. They don't go destabilize the country. Like it's just it don't make sense to me the way we dey process the kind of information, especially when this thing not dey happen for almost 2 decades. Like it's happened that the same story, the same thing, are just different players and different technology. It's the same thing. And they once the power change when Tinubu when Buhari dey power, all this thing not dey happen within that region. Companies are not mining. Was the region in peace? Niger dey peace? Tell me, when was the last time there was peace in that region, including Nigeria? When was the last time? Maybe 20 years ago. So why is this one where more more miners are coming into the game? That means some have to give way. Some have to give way. If people when they give way, if that's where they tell, what do you think I'm going to do? I will put out the propaganda. This all this is just is I don't know, man. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The same people where they push it, I won't be president, I make go be president, our turn. As if they come, anything will be different. No, if they come now, just another player will take in charge of where this ones they and it will continue again. Same story all over again. So passenger no get any mindset of a technocrat. The passenger just play. Now democracy will enter. Now democracy will enter. He has to play accordingly. Not this small start taking that because I dey drink. I dey drink. Tinubu tenure is the end of turn by turn Nigeria PSC. I'm agreeing with you, my brother. I never supported that anyway. It's not on record that I supported it turn by turn. I may be the only person from my village wey no support turn by turn. So I follow concourse. So anyway, okay, I should follow anybody reach agreement, leave that one. Except Tinubu fail woefully. Nobody go do follow again. I no understand. I no understand. Now me and you are saying the same thing. Now you know just they see my full point. That's why they. But I'm not saying now. Bola Tinubu nobody fit comot out for power unless him fuck the power that be up, the Western power. And as far as I'm concerned, as of today, the guy is doing excellently well in that regard. Excellently well. So I don't know how you want to, and it doesn't matter if that is doing up there, have impoverished the more people in Nigeria. So be it. That will not stop him from getting second term. So it doesn't matter if he perform woefully. That's what I mean. Now, unless the Western power say, okay, this man perform woefully, and they'll replace him with another person that follow the same line. Because as we speak, nobody have a different mindset in terms of giving what belongs to Caesar and giving what the country belongs to the country. That is different from what Obasanjo had, different from what Buhari had, different from what good luck. Ah, I put Bulo aside. I think Bulo is naivete played to ordinary Nigerian advantage, but we don't see that. We don't see that. Because this stage where we did so, we supposed to pass and stage in terms of suffer all our happiness. Then Tinubu is here now to follow the same mindset. It's not different. So if we become is already in the same trajectory. Atiku Atiku has becoming to realize that that's the only way if he stand a chance at all. So he go follow the same thing. Konkoso, the same thing. What is it they call am? The youngest of them all. So that one, that one, he started young. So it's more, he will do better in terms of fooling all of us. So what they go do better in terms of by the time he begin to speak like a politician, when all the guy will come down. When he begin to tell story, we go believe they come, he hate the West pass anything. Unless they pursue one come up from New York. I would never take him serious. But he is in a very good position to boo all of us. When he go begin when he go begin when not reach the time. It will show us that yes, these Western capitalists now evil, as if we don't know before. But it will able to put it in a way. Or if there's anybody that is going to come, right? Because the likes of Obi, they're already there, the honorable member of being an asset. Then an executive member. They came in to after they don't hammer, after they don't when they realize them. So the articles that they try to indoctrinate her, but it was for me too stubborn. That's okay. You go learn today. Stay out first, right? Anybody that will come outside these people, concoso them. Concoso them, they do that, in though they do that part of it, but in the kind of shows, in this stubborn, we need the local powers. In the go cut out to the local powers, but that na easy. That's easy to that not be the problem. But you has already that is to tell the Western powers, nobody go feel if I did there, you are I'm 100% yours. I will not do like Buhari. Then so anybody that will come after that, which is pretty much going to be Showore. Showore done they don't Showore inside if they carry out when he just finish nursery school. You understand? Or when you finish the primary school, when you finish primary school, right? And they carry out, and they put out for the system, they begin groom am. As soon as he finish university, right? Now, historically speaking, they can't give her assignments, which is Zara reporters. And he done well. It did well. It did well. So he no need to you no need to tease in the lie. If he tell you say he no like these people or he no like their policy, he no go adopt their policy. You say I know them. I live in New York for this. I run and did it like it will be so sweet when you go they put that poetry out during his campaign. So then anybody that will have to come before that, you have to have a different story. If you actually have to have a shot in a different direction at all. Because this monster they have built at the talk and during the campaign. When they help them, they say na turn by turn. That monster has been 25 years going. The structure has not been disrupted for the past 25 years. It's only going to go stronger. It can only go stronger. Especially Tinubu that is doing well. Tinubu is bringing more people, building more shock observers, emergency shock observers. The shock observer that is building will take him to the next round for sure. Then, however, I finish that next round, I don't think it's important because the attention will be focused. Who's next? Not all politicians have good tactics. Tinubu is a master game. That's why he won now. So that's why he won. So I may not be winning game. So that the point is a cliche. You're right. He won. So the next person that will come to, you will still give her such such accolades because the person win. So that's an attribute of a winner. One would say, no matter how the person wins, once you don't pull her off, you have to give it to him, especially if you do it again. What's it be okay, let me play this and tell the narrative around it during that time.
Nigerians insist that they have to impress their neighbors and other people that they eat foreign rice. I said, no rice. You either you eat what you grow what you eat, or you die. I think I tried to make my point. And later, Nigeria appreciated it because it provides more jobs. People go back to the land. We have the land, and we produce what we eat. I have only 6 more days to go. And I try to plan to be as far away from Abuja as possible. And thank goodness I came from an area which is farthest away from Abuja. I said, if anybody false move, I establish good relationship with my neighbors. The Nigerian people will defend me. Thank you very much.
Now, does within this man they talk make sense now? When he closed border, but the whole narrative then was he closed his border for the open border for his people and closed border for South. Right? That was the narrative. So from that was the foundation of that, and it just go on from there. Right? But in real life, I talked yesterday. The America that we have today, when the colony decide to go up in hands with their colonizer, the British, and they succeeded, they refuse to accept advanced technology. They have to actually seal themselves and build themselves with their own way of like how they want things to be. They sit down and build the America that we have today. So that and it hasn't changed. That's what we thought. Say, now people get up. This idea when I cannot to take a data from there. So what I'm trying to say is that they actually have to minimize what comes in and what comes out from every aspect, religiously, ideologically, economic, what have you. Because there's a need for you to be in control of your society to some certain extent that it will be hard for other people to come and there so that for you can govern it the way you properly want or build it as you want, either a replica for any other place or uniquely. The same thing the Chinese people do. Even in the course of doing that, they suffer 100 years of humiliation. It's all part of it. The British people, the same thing, when they are stealing technology from the Dutch Empire at that time, they just what the protectionism of philosophy is not out of the blue. It is really something practiced. But because there's an agenda behind it, they don't like the man, whatever, so they have to they have to conspire to paint a narrative that what he's trying to do is different from what he's actually doing. And you see him now. It's obvious now. Tinubu has opened up big borders, open up the whole country for every Tom Dick and to come in and call it what? Free economic, whatever, whatever. You don't have money to invest. Now foreigners get money to invest. So the big companies, the big conglomerates are coming. And how is it that easy for them to just come in? Because they don't spend the money in advance. They have able to engineer the people that will be their bill from Senate to executive to legislative to what the fuck I do from governors. They were going to over time smooth their people that will push out this policy into power. That's what you're saying. The same thing. By the time the real report will begin come out of what is happening in Borno, what is happening within the Nigeria axis, you got to say, are just nonsense. They were pushing that Nigeria is using France to destabilize Nigeria. Before now, France won't use Nigeria to destabilize China. And I remember when my investigative journalist, you don't question, David was saying, the letter went in lake. If not, Tinubu won't go war on behalf of on behalf of the France. Today now Nigeria they use France, they be like make it make sense. What the fuck is wrong with us? Make it make sense. Now Tinubu won't go war with Niger on behalf of France. Today, now France, now Nigeria won't use, now Tinubu won't use France to stabilize Niger. I can't make this up, man. Just can't make this shit up. Ain't no way I make this shit up.
You think leadership is a common case? No. Esther said, if I perish, I perish. Whenever you are in leadership, look at what happened to Donald Trump. In America, where security is everywhere. Yet, 2 times now they wanted to kill him. Every profession has its own risk. If you're not willing to take the risk that is attached to any profession, step aside so that people who are given that mind by God will go ahead and serve God in that capacity. If you're an actor and an actress and you say you're not going to hug babes and you're not going to kiss them, step aside. Because that's what the job is. Don't come and say you're a born-again Christian. That's what the job entails. If you're a politician and you can't stand for your people that voted for you, and because you don't want to die, step aside. Because that's what the job entails. Any politician that is not behaving like Simfubara, who will resist and protest when his rights are trampled upon, knowing that our judicial system, knowing that our electoral system have failed us, that any politician who will not stand his ground, no matter the risk to his person, I said I will not speak for that politician again, and I maintain it. And you can see what is happening, because we can't go forward. We calm down. If Simfubara has been saying calm down, do you know where River State would have been? He said he's ready for them. He's fully prepared. The election must go on. The election must hold. Winners must be declared. They will be sworn in. And whatever is going to happen, let it happen. I am looking for leaders who would say nobody will rig my election. And if you rig my election, I will fight. Nigerians, come out and fight. If they kill anybody, let them kill all of us. Oh yes, and thank God I'm seeing it happen. What Fubara did, was he advocating for violence? Was he advocating that the law should be broken? No. He was advocating for his right. That's my opinion. That's my advocacy. We must advocate for our right and stand by it. I did not disqualify anybody. I don't have that right. I said I am not going to speak for anybody going forward except this person meets this criteria. In any case, we have finished 2023 election. It's over. 2027 election has not come. So anybody who is saying betrayal, what am I betraying? There is nothing on ground. When I was a spokesman in 2023, I did my job creditably well, and we convinced Nigerians on what we believe is right. But you can see that in Nigeria, you not only have to have the power to win election, you have to have the power to defend your election. So anybody that does not have that spirit or power to defend the votes in a manner that you would say, whatever happens to me as a person, let it happen. I am not willing to speak any further for the person. So what I just simply said is that going forward, I will no longer be part of this until these fears are addressed. So I did not disqualify anybody. One, I don't have that power. Then two, I am not betraying anybody because I'm still a member of Labour Party. And you can see I'm still fighting. The Labour Party should be consolidated because Nigerians are looking for an alternative to these people. But if you want to fight these people who are compulsive thieves and who are the worst amongst us, leading us, according to Senator Ndume, who is part of them, then you have to grow higher and be more aggressive than calm down. That's what I said, and I stand by it. In all honesty, I would have said we don't. But because I'm a student of theology, I would not say so. Because when Elijah thought he was the only person that was worshiping God, God said, no, you're not the only person. There are more than 7,000 persons like you still in that country that have not done anything evil. I know them. So the only thing we have to do in this country, we must not be sentimentally attached to anybody, any politician. We must not be loyal to political parties or politicians. We have to be loyal to the country and to the law. And if any law is unjust, we have to fight the law. If anybody is doing anything illegal, no matter who the person is, we have to fight the person. So in Nigeria, we must create the environment so that those 7,000 that we do not know who are leaders will be able to begin to emerge. If the good ones keep quiet, they will never emerge. When people say people are selling their votes, you know why they are selling their votes? Because they believe that even if they vote their conscience, it will not count. Not because they want to be corrupt. They saw what happened in 2023. I was an active participant in that election of 2023. They did not sell their votes. But after, it did not count. So they'll be like, why would I go and say I'm voting for my conscience when it will not count? If I'm going to take this money, at least it will be what I gain. So if we don't fight, we are...
People protested when I was governor. They even caused strike. They shut down our schools for months, our hospitals for months. Well verified. We need more transparency. And when you talk about transparency in terms of figures, you show it, you elucidate it. Figures are not 1 + 1 is 2. It's not something you say it's just 2 because of. Tell us how we arrived at it and we'll believe. And when we talk about subsidy, as continuously said, if we are removing subsidy, what are we replacing it with? Where are we applying that subsidy we removed to? So if you say to me, I've removed subsidy, I'm going to use it to build this number of classrooms, to be able to pull out of school children into school, so we can verify and follow and track those schools. We have issue in health, primary health care, especially issue of infant mortality. Removal of resource subsidy will enable us to build this number of primary health cares in different, so that we can measure it. So you don't remove something without saying what is replaced and where we moving our money to. Or it's helping us to manage our debts. This is it. But here we have fuel subsidy removed, the debt is increasing, and we're not seeing anything. We have to continue our journey on democracy. It's government of the people, for the people, and by the people. However, we need to tweak it where we have some level of parliamentary system in it, like is in South Africa. So we need to deal with issue of more scrutiny in our expenditure, in our borrowing, in efforts to be able to ensure that our scarce resources is prioritized to areas of urgent need for development, from security, food, all those areas, education. I'm not preoccupied about 2027 election. I'm preoccupied by Nigeria sitting today and having a better life. I've said it before, my politics is not about the election. I am not desperate to be president, and I don't want to. What I want to hear is that fuel prices are coming down, bread is getting cheaper, Nigerians are not. You cannot be talking about 38 million Nigerians facing hunger, and I'm talking about next election. Let's talk about hunger. Let's talk about managing our resources today. Let's talk about doing the right thing, the right behavior, showing example to the younger ones, growing up that we're leaders. I've said that everybody, they have right to protest. I've said it before. I would discuss with every protester. They even want government months before they did that. I would sit down and discuss with them. People protested when I was governor. They even called strike. They shut down our schools for months, our hospitals for months. Well verified. I was talking with them. I didn't come down. I have never, as a politician, as a governor, for one day, go and ask any policeman, say, please, stop somebody. Talk less of arresting the person. It shouldn't be. In a democracy, people have right to say no. I've said it every day. If I'm managing this facility and everybody loves me, I will resign. This is me. Wherever I am, I believe that I have enemies. My job is to convince them. If everybody loves Peter, there's a problem. There's people who hate me because I'm just Peter. They don't even need to give me any reason. It is my job to convince them on why it should be. I convince the teachers why we should return schools to missionaries, and they've seen the result. I convince them why we should go to the missionary facilities, the Ministry of Health, and build school of nursing and midwifery. You just have to. It's a constant thing. That's why you're a leader. You're a communicator. You listen, you talk to the people. It's not a question of what the young ones, I'll meet them. The agitators, the protesters, I will be talking to them.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me go. I'll be back in 3-4 hours.